Time now to get a little bit of an entertainment fix, and there is so much to talk about. Bruce Jenner is continuing to make headlines in the United States ahead of next week's tell-all interview with Diane Sawyer. We're joined now by US entertainment correspondent from New York, Dylan Howard, Radar Online. Dylan, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's get straight into Bruce Jenner, because it seems with the passing of every few hours, there is another little snippet promoting this interview.
And, of course, Paul, that is a strategic ploy on behalf of ABC. This is the most anticipated tell-all interview that we have seen this year, probably in the last couple of years. And because this is the most dramatic story that we've seen in a very long time. Bruce Jenner will confirm next Friday night here in the United States his transition from a male to a female, becoming the poster child, if you like, for transgender issues. A decision that he has grappled with for many, many decades. In fact, in one of the teaser clips that has been released, he is set up to say that he's been waiting his entire life for this. Now, we first got wind of this story some 69 weeks ago when he was photographed at a Beverly Hills clinic leaving after having his Adam's apple shaved. But we can tell you that over the last month or two, he has been intensively preparing for this transition. And just a couple of weeks ago, Paul, believe it or not, he actually had silicone breast implants inserted. Now, I saw photos this week that showed Bruce walking around on the balcony of his Malibu mansion, freely displaying his new chest. And this really is a positive sign for Bruce. As he says, he's been living a life for so long. He's now comfortable with the transition that he's making and the new life that he is establishing.
So was he topless in these photos that you talk about, displaying his new breasts?
No, he was walking around, he was wearing a top, but you could clearly see that the chest had been developed from where it previously was. And he has been receiving hormone therapy in addition to the silicone implants that he received a couple of weeks ago. But this is the first sign. These photos haven't yet been released, but as I say, I did see them. There are three photos in the set of images. They're revealing by their very nature. One of the questions that has been asked, Paul, is Bruce going to debut his new look as a female in this tell-all interview with Diane Sawyer? He's not. He actually answers the questions in his male persona, if you like, but does go on to detail what he wants to do longer term.
So really, he's just going to be confirming what everybody already knows. Let's talk Hillary Clinton and Clinton's scandals, because, of course, now that she has formally put her name forward, she's now formally in the race for nomination. It's open season on Hillary Clinton.
She's attempting to rebrand herself, a remarkable turn of events after the disaster that was the 2008 presidential campaign. This week, for example, on the campaign hustings, she went into a Mexican store with her glasses on, a Mexican restaurant with her glasses on, and was barely recognised. This is a campaign ploy on behalf of her and her people to really make her relatable to people, because, believe it or not, she's not necessarily that well liked in America. But the question remains, is she going to be able to dodge the scandal that followed her throughout the course of Bill's presidency? There are questions about her record, if you like, as the Secretary of State. But there are also, of course, the tabloid scandals. Bill's bimbo eruptions. Is she going to be able to avoid those? And then there are her own scandals that she faces. There are questions about the paternity of their daughter Chelsea, and whether or not indeed Bill is the biological father. These, of course, are many unanswered questions that now become sharp in focus as a result of her campaign.
You know what's happening, Dylan? Hillary's becoming more interesting by the day. And it'll be interesting to see if she has that same sort of Teflon exterior that Bill had when it comes to handling these crises. Can I just very quickly, before we go, talk about Ireland Baldwin? This is Alec Baldwin's model daughter, who's in her 20s, I think. She is now in rehab, is that right?
Confirming the news this week that she's checked into a Malibu treatment centre for what she says is intensive therapy relating to emotional issues, and I quote that, emotional issues. She's quick to distance herself from the suggestion that it is substance related, but of course many people will remember her as the daughter that was at the centre of those infamous audio recordings of Alec Baldwin ranting about her, calling her an insensitive, thoughtless pig. That was in the wake of his 2002 divorce from ex-wife Kim Basinger. So many questions are being raised as to whether or not this now adult is still reeling from the issues associated with her troubled upbringing.
Yeah, that was a horrible time for her, wasn't it? Fair enough. But then emotional trauma could be a euphemism for so many things. Dylan Howard, New York correspondent, thank you very much for joining us this morning.